But I wanted to take a moment to tell you about a wonderful channel called the Inquisitive Farmwife. Please go give her a follow. She is so kind. I'm still relatively new to YouTube. I've only been here about 4 months, so I'm new to getting in on collaborations. She was so kind to include me as a bonus on the last day of February. I'd like to think she was saving the best for last, but we know that's not true. But she was kind enough to include me, which makes me feel good that she's supporting newer channels. If you look for the hashtag, and this is a mouthful, I'm going to try to say it all, Freeze Dried February 23, you will find a playlist that has all the people in the prepping community that have freeze dryers, and they talk about how they use it. They show you some recipes. But as part of this collaboration, she will be giving away a free medium Harvest Right freeze dryer, which, to put into perspective, we have the smallest one, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than this. So if you're interested in learning more, please go to her channel. I will link it in the description box below. Please stick around and try to see if you can have an opportunity to win a Harvest Right freeze dryer. So I have posted plenty of videos in the past about why we got a freeze dryer, but if you're new to the channel or you're just stopping by, I just wanted to explain where we were coming from and what led us to decide to get a freeze dryer. I'm standing in a room right now. We call this my walk-in pantry. I've got videos posted that show like a kind of an extensive tour. We're kind of running out of room in here, and I don't want food to just take over our house, but I still want to be able to prepare. We started looking at a freeze dryer when we started prepping, which we've been prepping for about 3 or 4 years. We started seeing advertisements for the Augustin Farms or the Patriot Supply and Thrive, and if you go to the Dollar Tree, you can get fruit snacks that are freeze dried. And I fell in love with these things. That's kind of one of the reasons that got the ball rolling on why we became interested in getting a freeze dryer. We knew that it was good for storing your food long term and for not taking up a lot of weight. Obviously, canning is a way to preserve your food long term, but it's also bulky. Those mason jars take up a lot of space. And we are also weekend warriors. We have an RV that we like to take out on weekends as time allows. And we had talked about when my husband retires that we would like to travel the country in a trailer and just go around, see the sights, and see where we might want to end up living and buying a home one day. When I got to thinking about the possibility of living full-time in a 40-foot trailer and knowing that I had limited space to work with and I had all this food, it entered my mind, how about we start freeze drying a lot of our foods so we can remove the water weight? Because when you travel in an RV, it's important to keep the weight down, and also you've got limited storage space, so you can actually store more in a smaller space on an RV if you freeze dry things. In addition to RVing, we also enjoy hiking. We do some day hikes. And as any hiker will tell you, the weight that you carry in your backpack, it's kind of like the weight you would carry in an RV. You're very limited. You know, those hardcore hikers that do through hikes and section hikes, they'll literally cut off the ends of their toothbrush and their comb because every ounce counts. One of the foods that they like to carry the most with them are freeze-dried foods because the water weight is removed, and then you carry a water filter so you can walk up to waterfalls or creeks or whatever and filter water and add that back into your food. But, you know, a hiker will tell you that they much prefer to carry freeze-dried food over the weight that's in the water in a lot of those packaged foods. So what are some of the benefits of having a freeze dryer besides what I already mentioned before? Less waste. We are a family of 4, but we also have 4 different eating habits. We've got 2 vegetarians. I don't eat everything that my husband eats. He doesn't eat the things that I eat necessarily. And a lot of times when I cook, we have an abundance of leftovers. So having a freeze dryer has been wonderful because whatever we don't eat, you know, if we don't eat it the following day as a leftover, we can just throw it on our freeze dryer and then we've got a ready-made meal, like those backpacker pantry meals that you can buy in the camping section of the store. So that's one of the benefits. It also helps eliminate waste when it comes to your produce. I can't tell you how much produce that spoiled before we got around to using it. So it's nice to see when you've got fruit or vegetables that are kind of approaching their peak, then you can just cut them up real quick and put them on the freeze dryer. So we do also have a compost, but we like to use that just mainly for like skins and peels, and if there's any actual food that we can salvage, we would prefer to do that. So the freeze dryer has come in handy in that area. Having a freeze dryer has also caused us to eat healthier. I don't know what it is about fruit and vegetables being on the freeze dryer, but when you snack, we have a tendency to snack sometime, whether it's out of nervousness or boredom or... Okay, that's really weird. The power just went out. Hold on, guys. Be right back. Actually, that's a brilliant segue right there. Losing power. How nice would it be to, if you lost power, and let's say you couldn't use your stove. This is so weird. I'm literally recording and my power's going on and off. But that's another great point about having a freeze dryer. If you freeze dry some meals, all you need to do is add hot water. If you've got the means to heat up some water, if you've got a gas stove, or if you're sick or you're laid up, maybe you're recovering from surgery. How nice would it be to have some meals that you don't have to prepare in the dark, scrambling around your pantry looking for ingredients? If you had some meals that were already made that you could just add some hot water to, and then boom, you've got a hydrated meal. What's really weird is it's a perfectly sunny day. The wind is blowing just a little bit, but I don't know why our power keeps going on and off. But anyway, it's helping me prove my point on how a freeze dryer would come in handy. Obviously, if you lost power, you couldn't use your freeze dryer, but if you're able to put some stuff away. And one of the big fears I have about losing power, because we've got 3 freezers, so we've got a deep freezer that's completely full. All our freezers are actually full, but I've been wanting for a very long time. I have a paranoia about losing power from a storm or whatever and not having it restored for a few days and then all our meat spoiling. I would like to start freeze drying all of that, so if we do lose power, I don't have to worry about losing more of our food that we paid good money for in the freezer. If it's already freeze-dried, then it's already preserved. Before the lights went out, I was talking to you about eating healthier. I'm not one who is just going to go to my refrigerator and pull out some broccoli, raw broccoli, and just start chomping on it. But I tell you what, you freeze-dry some broccoli, put some Parmesan cheese on it, and then stick it in the freeze dryer. It is delicious. I don't know what it is about freeze-dried foods, but it just enhances the flavor of everything. The fruit gets sweeter. I love pineapple. The mango's good. That's my husband's favorite. Strawberries, they're delicious. That's something else. I won't go to the refrigerator and just pull out strawberries and start eating them. But on the freeze dryer, and they're like little chips, they are so good. Watermelon is so good. I mean, I just think if you have a freeze dryer, you might be more inclined, and your children, to eat better. You know, eat more fruit, eat more vegetables. There are several categories of what people typically freeze dry. I already talked about leftovers. If you've got some leftover soup or stew or chili, and you know, you just want to throw that on the freeze dryer to have as another meal on another day. And we've got the things that we have no intentions of rehydrating. So that would be like the fruit chips, the vegetable chips that we're going to just eat as is. Other things that we like to use our freeze dryer for is if we find a really good sale on something. Like recently, We had some raspberries at our local Kroger that was like 97 cents a carton. That's a steal. You can't beat that deal. So we're obviously not going to eat all those raspberries at one time. So, you know, we bought, I don't know, about 10 cartons of it and just put those on the freeze dryer and put those in a mason jar to just snack at our leisure. Freeze dryers are also good for things that are kind of hard to find. You can get really creative with a freeze dryer. I thought I had every Augustin Farm product out there, but there's certain things that I've not seen that if they make it or not. To my knowledge, they don't, but things like pickles and olives and cherries. And then I also love freeze-dried ice cream. I realize that's not a survival thing, but it's just like a snack and something that I like to take out on trail or when we go hiking or camping. But I've purchased freeze-dried ice cream before on Amazon, and it was delicious, but it was very expensive, and you're kind of limited on your choices according to what the company makes. For example, I like peanut butter chocolate ice cream. Well, that's hard to find that freeze-dried, so I've been able to make it myself. It's a lot cheaper. In my opinion, it tastes a lot better. Other things that we like to freeze dry are individual ingredients that we can put together, either put it in a vacuum seal bag to take with us on a camping trip or around the holidays if you'd like to make some little mason jar gifts for people. The reason that, you know, you might ask, well, why would you do it that way and not just get like already made soup like a Bear Creek or one of the backpacker pantry meals? Well, let's say you want to make something for a loved one and maybe they're allergic to something, or maybe they don't like black beans, but they would like pinto beans. It would be nice to just freeze dry the ingredients individually and then just customize it according to everybody's preference. Corey's not here right now. When he gets home, we will start on the taco soup, and I'll get him to talk to you about some of what he's enjoyed about the freeze dryer. So, you know, we'll talk about the things we've enjoyed freeze drying and the things that were kind of fails. Like there's some candy that we're not going to make again. We just did it more for fun. And I just wanted to get started here and come on and just start this video talking to you, introducing myself and why we got a freeze dryer. So I was worried that losing power while we were in the middle of freeze drying would mess things up, but here's what happened. It says power outages 1 for 31 minutes, and it just picked right back up where it left off. That's pretty darn cool. Another plus to having a Harvest Wrap freeze dryer. So first we're going to start with some ground beef that Corey canned, along with some black beans that he canned. And then we're going to take some Hatch green chilies and add that for a little extra kick, along with a can of corn that we're going to drain. And then we're going to use some Rotel that we're not going to drain. And it's got some additional Hatch green chilies in it. About a medium-sized onion that we'll dice, and a bell pepper, a green bell pepper as well as some bulbs, or about, I don't know, maybe 3 cloves of garlic is what we ended up using. We debated over whether or not to use that taco seasoning because it's already dehydrated, but we went ahead and threw it in for spice anyway. And we found a half-open can of black olives, so we decided to add that as well.
So when you hit start, like we've said in the past, I think it starts to cool the trays. So it's about 15 minutes. Then it'll cool, not cool the trays, it's cool the chamber. So then we go ahead and stick everything in. You can pre-freeze this if you want. We've had pretty good luck. I think we pre-froze ice cream, which is probably a good idea, but everything else we usually just go ahead and throw in. It'll be interesting to see how this liquid does. So I'll throw this in there. You gotta make sure your valve's closed in the back, which it is, and then continue. So it's gonna freeze it for a couple hours, probably 4 or 5. And I'd say this is probably gonna take Everything usually takes about 16 to 24 hours. The candy took like 40 hours, so I think it's the investment we have. We have this thing full already. And I think we had a little over a month, so we've been keeping this machine going, and we really like a lot of the fruit and the vegetables. I was never really a big sweet potato fan as a kid. Hated them. Kind of growing on me. I did the tempura sweet potatoes, and that was pretty good. But these freeze-dried sweet potatoes, yeah, I'd eat those all day long. So, and then obviously the bananas and the strawberries, and then the pineapple's really good. We did mango, and that went the first day. We didn't have a whole lot of it, but I think they're all worth the investment. Especially if you compare this to all the canning we've done over the years. So this takes up far less space. This is probably like one shelf of canning products, if not more.
So this is I don't know how much this bucket holds, but it's full. So let's talk to them about some of the things that you freeze dry.
Lazy lasagna.
Lazy lasagna, and I've got a video up on that.
Yeah, it's all okay.
The thing is, we don't have it organized yet. We're going to need to get some bins where we put the fruit in one and the vegetables in another, and snacks like ice cream. Okay, what do we have here?
Bean and sausage soup.
That's the best. I've got a video
chili.
on that. Green chili. Corey has not uploaded his Hatch green chili soup yet.
These hold about one avocado, I think, and then we have red onion in smaller packs.
Yeah, the avocado, this is what we're going to use, one of these for our soup when this is done. The avocado and then the cheese.
And then strawberries and grated cheese.
Yep, okay, can I see that? Because we'll need that for this.
Some guava pork.
Oh, yeah.
Pulled pork. There's Italian sausage. This, ground Italian sausage. Sweet potatoes, like I talked about. Ground beef with onion and peppers. And then there's some ground beef with cabbage. So that's
Nice.
kind of where we're at.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of everything, but you get the idea.
Well, I mean, we store a lot of our snacks just in a mason jar, even with the oxygen absorber, and you have this plastic screw-on lids. We also have like these onions in this little mason jar because we use those every day. But that lid is actually from Parmesan cheese. Always fits on mason jars, the regular mouth, not the wide mouth. And then we have Mylar bags. This is like a gallon size bag. This is a quart size bag, and I think this is a half pint actually. So depending on what size, we've never really done a gallon bag yet, but this is going to take a gallon bag because we're going to mix this up and then put it in make it a soup. So all you got to do the Mylar bags we got a zipper opening. You just dump stuff in there, put some oxygen absorbers in it, close it up, and then with the Harvest Right they have a bag sealer. So if you're going to keep it long term, then you can seal the top. Nothing's going to get in there. So, but we've got a lot of these little bags with like avocados in them, cheese, onion. These medium-sized bags with like pulled pork and barbecue meat, stuff like that. It's like a single serving or maybe 2 servings. But then we have like some half-gallon bags about that half size. So it's like a 2-person meal for Kelly and I. So. I guess that's about the only. We don't vacuum seal any of this. If we have a vacuum sealer, we vacuum seal like frozen stuff and things like that. So our main 2 ways are Mylar bags and mason jars. Vacuum sealer that goes over the top and it'll seal a regular mason jar lid, like a canning lid. Got six cups of water in here. Since it's a soup, I'm not real worried about having too much water. But we're gonna throw this in, and we're gonna see how this works out. So we'll just let it soak up and see. It looks like, yeah, I don't know. I actually think we'll probably have to add a little more water. So.
Yeah, because we like our soup extra soupy.
2 more cups of water. We'll just have to taste it when it's done.
Okay. So we're just going to put a lid on it and let it rehydrate. Okay, so it took a little bit less than 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get this into our bowls. I know these bowls make it look like you don't have much in there, but they hold a lot. Alrighty. Now we're just going to add our garnishes. And if we wanted to just stick with the whole freeze-dry theme, there is freeze-dried sour cream. It is possible to make. We just haven't done it yet, so we're going to keep it simple with some regular sour cream. But we will open the cheese here. This on. And give it maybe a minute or two to rehydrate. Actually, I'm going to kind of push it down into the liquid a little bit. Next, we just added some of our freeze-dried avocado and let that reconstitute, as well as adding a little dollop of daisy.
Yeah, it all came together really well. Parts of the onion, the pepper, got a lot of good seasoning. Here's some bite with some cheese. That smoked cheese, something else. With some avocado, it's really good. So we got everything we added, everything we did. Well, it was just the right amount, the right ratio. Seasoning we guessed on came out perfect.
Yeah, the seasoning, so we pretty much just opened a can of everything and then did a whole packet of the taco seasoning. But how much water did you end up adding? Was it like 6 cups? Okay. So as a little added garnish, we like to put some chicharrones on our taco soup. We do this on our chili and it just takes it to the next level.
These are actually crackling, so they're a little bit smaller.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so instead of the big chicharrones, but it does add a lot of texture and a lot of good flavor to your soups and your chilies and stuff. So
release the crackling.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching our video, and don't forget to give the Inquisitive Farmwife a follow. She's the one that's hosting this event. If you're seeing my video on the last day of February, you've missed out on some giveaways, but she's saving the best for last. On March 3rd, she is going to be giving away a medium Harvest Right freeze dryer. And the way that you enter is to go to her channel, watch the playlist for the hashtag Freeze Dried February 23, and for every video that you comment on, and you can only comment once, or you can comment more than once on one video, but it only counts one time. And then you will be entered in some automatically generated drawing, I guess, where they just pick at random. And so basically you're encouraged to comment on some videos in the playlist. So hope you found this video helpful in some way, and you got anything to say?
Don't hesitate to get a freeze dryer. We did for a little bit, but it's well worth it.
It is. You get your money back just like that.
You can make some great meals, and then the awesome snacks where there's fruit and vegetables, and just good way to get nutrition.
That's true.
Don't hesitate. Just go out there and buy it.
All right, y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.